And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome, everyone, to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Wednesday, June 18th, 2025. And in the weather-related headlines across Alaska, as of this Wednesday afternoon through midnight tonight, there is a red flag warning for the potential for lightning strikes to initiate new fires across areas of the central interior. Once again, we've seen with the very warm temperatures in the interior, that leads to some scattered thunderstorm development when we have low-level moisture and some instability, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. Flooding continues along the North Slope rivers due to rapid snowmelt and runoff. We'll highlight the latest watch warnings advisories there. Coming up tomorrow, Friday, or I should say, today's Wednesday, Friday, summer solstice, 6:42 p.m. Alaska Daylight Time, and certainly we have summertime temperatures here that have arrived in many areas over the course of late last week and this weekend. Though temperatures may be a bit below normal along areas of south central, especially along the Gulf Coast into southeast Alaska, after we get past the solstice as we get into latter part of next week. We'll see, though. In the meantime, Dead Horse up there, where we have the North Slope Rivers, hazy sunshine, 48 degrees. That area has experienced, though, just a very rapid snowmelt since last Friday and over the weekend. And so, as a result, coming up there from the spine of the Brooks Range, which drains down along the North Slope to the Beaufort Sea, number of rivers dealing with some very high water levels and flooding. The Saltja area, smoky haze, you can see the haze and a distant cumulonimbus cloud, widely scattered thunderstorm, temperature pushing 80 degrees there in the interior. And for Anchorage, some hazy sunshine, 62. And as we go further southeast, Petersburg there in the Panhandle, there in the inner channels, and the light rain stratus, 54 degrees, and areas of the especially southern Panhandle will pick up a little more in the way of some light rain or light rain showers. So here are the current advisories, watches, and warnings. Let's first start with the red flag warning. This is in effect for until midnight this Wednesday night. So the area around Saltja, westward through Fairbanks, all the way over to Tanana. This area, expect thunderstorm coverage to increase through the late afternoon, early evening, so lightning strikes could cause additional fire starts. But there are other widely scattered storms across a broad area of the interior that could also ignite some fires. In the far north, we have a flood watch for the North Slope that remains in effect, but there are flood warnings for the Colville River, Umiat especially there, reporting some flooding there along the river, and also a flood advisory for the Sag River. As you come out of Adigan Pass, there have been a washout of a culvert there on the Dalton Highway, along with some spots along the highway dealing with high water and erosion. So the Department of Transportation and other contractors working to try to get those roads shored up and repaired as a result of the rapid snow melt and runoff that has caused that flooding. So here we have again, there in the North Slope, the rivers have broken up, and we have had, that's the old one from last week, so I'll have to get past that. But anyways, the fact of the matter is, a lot of the snow up there along the upper North Slope has actually melted off very rapidly in less than a week's time. Now, on top of that, the fire danger, we look at the grass adjective, and that's the early carrier of fire in the early fire season. But we're now getting to that point as we get toward and after solstice. Spruce becomes the primary carrier for fire, and we can see similarly the grass and spruce adjectives kind of overlay one another, with the greatest fire risk here north side of the Alaska Range around Lake Minchumina and Nana, and then also here Yukon Flats areas just above the Yukon River. So again, very dry conditions here. All it takes is a lightning strike or a spark from any sort of tool or some sort of, if you're dragging a chain. So be very careful there across the interior as we go through the end of this week, beginning of the weekend. As far as satellite imagery, we have low pressure down here south of Haida Gwaii. There's a band It's keeping some showers in areas of the Panhandle. You see the clear skies up here along north of Yukon River, south slopes of the Brooks Range, all the way to the Beaufort Sea coast. As we go further southwestward, there's a low south of the central Aleutians. This low is going to gradually lift northward, kind of just sit and spin here over the lower Bering to close out the week. And the occluded front that'll push its way gradually northeastward will have some gusty winds, a band of rain or rain showers as it works its way north and eastward. So on the weather map for tonight, we'll have a scattering of showers and thunderstorms in the interior, as well as northwest Canada. This low south of Haida Gwaii, this little trough, kind of keeping a band of little light rain or rain showers in areas of the Panhandle. And then further west, look at this, 982 low. That's somewhat strong. It's a pretty good wind field around this low. As we get into early Thursday morning, we still have the potential for some light rain showers or patchy light rain here in the especially southern half of the Panhandle. Could even be a few scattered showers and storms continue into the night early on Thursday morning across areas of the interior, since we are near the solstice and we have all of that daylight and heating that extends well into the evening. Here's that low down around 982 millibars. It'll begin to cross the central Aleutians around Adak and Atka as we go through Friday midday afternoon. Pressure may come up a little bit in the front, begin to weaken, but still along it some breezy conditions and along with some rain showers or areas of rain. And then once again, portions of the interior on Friday could see a redevelopment of scattered thunderstorms, especially south slopes of the Brooks Range along north of the Yukon River, even pushing toward east side there of the Seward Peninsula. Should be a little less rainy there, improving conditions over the southern Panhandle. And then for Saturday, it's looking like a little better weather here for the Panhandle and continuing back across south central parts of the interior, maybe a little better chance of some scattered thunderstorms along the Brooks Range. But again, isolated to scattered storms will be possible through a good portion, a broad swath of the interior. Meanwhile, the low that's out here in the lower Bering north of the central Aleutians begins to fill, coming up to 997 millibars. And we expect that feature then as we head on in through the weekend that it'll begin to just further weaken. And as we look at Thursday morning lows, we're looking at temperatures could be rather warm, near 60 for a low at Fort Yukon, as well as Fairbanks. Coolest readings mid-30s along the Beaufort Sea coast, down along the Chukchi Sea coastline. And readings even in through south central should generally stop at or above 50. As well as near 50 or so there in the Panhandle. High temperatures Thursday afternoon getting back up into the 80s. We're expecting highs in the 80s again, 87 or so at Fort Yukon. Low mid 80s around Bettles down through Tanana, Nanana, and Fairbanks. Temperatures 76 at Talkeetna. We have some 70s down here through the Kuskokwim and middle Yukon. And then we have readings cooler, 72 maybe if you get a little sun up there at Skagway, but otherwise, depending on the variance and clouds in the Panhandle, you may have highs confined to the 50s. If you stay cloudier, you get some sun, you'll quickly rise into the 60s to even 70. And then out here along the Aleutians, cooler waters there of the Pacific and Bering Sea, confined temperatures to the upper 40s to near 50. And then Friday morning lows, we're looking at low temperatures again, near 60, Fort Yukon, Fairbanks. Otherwise, most areas above 50 in south central and up through the Kuskokwim and middle upper Yukon valleys. Readings mid-30s along the Arctic coast and down through along the Beaufort Sea to the Bering Strait. And high temperatures continue warm for Friday afternoon across a broad area of the interior, especially between the Alaska Range and the Brooks Range. Though a few areas could be 82. Glen Allen there in the lower, we have that warmer lower region there of the Copper River Basin. And temperatures back through the Panhandle, 60s. If you get a little more sun, maybe 71 again there around Skagway. And the temperature outlook, 6 to 10 day, June 24th through the 28th. I mentioned the solstice is on Friday, June 20th. And once we get a little past that, We're going to continue to see some moisture brush the Gulf Coast that may get up into Cook Inlet and southern areas of the mainland, as well as southeast Alaska at times. So with intermittent cloud cover and some lighter rain showers, that'll keep temperatures a bit cooler. Warmer than normal expected along the Brooks Range North Slope, especially centered from Arctic Village, Kaktovik to Utqiagvik. Precipitation-wise, we don't see a lot of change. The potential still exists through a broad area of the interior for scattered showers and thunderstorms to continue here as we get into that last week of June. So it looks like summer is definitely here. And get out and enjoy when you do have the sunshine, because there'll be some warmer temperatures, especially for this Thursday and Friday across areas of South Central and most definitely in through the interior.